Hey there, Adam here. Today I want to do a short video on perhaps the biggest topic in finance this week, which is the FTX implosion, pending bankruptcy filing. For those who are unfamiliar with FTX, it was essentially a crypto trading platform, and the news just basically came out this week that basically FTX was lending money to a sister company, which was then betting it using customer deposits. Market went bad. They got into a major hole. It's pretty typical uh, abuse of customer funds. And as a unregulated industry, it's not FDIC regulated, so there's basically no protection for any of those funds. And I suspect that a lot of the customers are not going to get any of that money back. So I really wanted to just talk today about the YouTube finance space as a whole and their willingness to. Anybody who's watching any of my videos, I suspect if you manage to stumble across one, you probably watch other finance YouTubers. That's my expectation because that's sort of where I find myself. Law, finance, business. There's a lot of overlap between those topics. So I would be shocked if you have not seen a plethora of different FTX sponsors. Graham Stephan's probably one of the biggest examples. He's someone I watch and respect for his content, but he's taken obviously a lot of FTX money over the last 6 months, a year. I'd say half of his iced coffee hour videos are sponsored by FTX. This should serve as a wake up call for these influencers and YouTubers who are shilling these products that are undeniably hurting their customers and hurting their fan base. And quite frankly, we need to do a lot better. These influencers oftentimes don't particularly, some of them may be crypto curious or have some involvement in crypto, but most of the content itself is, doesn't overhype cryptocurrency as a whole. It's a lot of the content has absolutely nothing to do with crypto. Instead, it's just general finance and business. But they're sponsored by these crypto companies that are just throwing around money on advertisements like crazy. FTX, I think they have a stadium, like an actual sports stadium sponsor. They sponsor a bunch of esports stuff. It's either Fnatic or someone else, but they're very involved in a lot of different things, throwing around a lot of money. But the finance, when someone goes to finance YouTube, they're expecting a certain level of vetting and responsibility that is different than the name of a sponsor partner on a sports stadium. You don't go to the MasterCard Stadium or the Pepsi Arena or whatever and say, wow, they must be really good at taking care of my money. It's just a sponsor for a building. But when you're getting somebody who says, here's how you save money, and here's how you can make more money, and this is how you should track your finances. When that type of person is sponsored week after week by by FTX or some other finance related company, in my opinion, you expect a higher level of vetting and personal accountability and responsibility. I'll be very curious to see if any of these channels are willing to put out a statement about their sponsorships and apologize to their fans, who I suspect most of them will not see a penny, or if they do, it'll be pennies on the dollar of their money coming back out of this platform. So that's sort of all I want to touch on today. And I'm not saying it's not holier than thou. I'm not making money off this YouTube channel. I'm just talking about things I understand that I enjoy talking about. Very small channel at this point. If I ever do get to a point where I'm making money off this, I suspect that my sponsors will be very, very limited at most. It's a dangerous business to be in, endorsing financial products. So to the extent that I ever do any sponsorships or endorsements, it'll only be stuff that is trustworthy. No one's perfect, but I understand that some people may have been fooled by FTX And if that's the case, these guys should get out in front of it and take accountability and apologize for. And it's not even really an apology. I think they just need to understand the role that they have in this ecosystem. That their sponsorships for financial products is going to be more influential than just like a Pepsi or Doritos or other type of sort of generalized endorsement. Who unless I don't think you're going to buy $100,000 of Pepsi, but if you do, it might take you a couple lifetimes to go through all that. So that's sort of all I had on this. I just wanted to get this out because it's timely and because I was thinking about it, and it was just irritating me because I was clicked on a video from a couple weeks ago and it was sponsored by FTX, and it's just a situation. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions or want something follow up on one of these topics, I do not do bankruptcy law, so I am not going to be an expert by any means on that field. I do know that Chapter 11 usually means they're trying to reorganize and not shut the door, but a lot of times Chapter 11 bankruptcies will turn into Chapter 7s, which means they go from trying to reorganize and save the company. A Chapter 7 means they're liquidating and closing the doors. I would suspect this will go from Chapter 11 to Chapter 7, and the company will, and FTX and all of its 130 subsidiaries will almost certainly end up being closed. All right, thanks. Bye.